All right, let's dive into a story that, honestly, it feels more like a legend than real life. We're talking about a time and a place where the problems just felt impossible. But one person, just one person, did something that would change absolutely everything.
I want you to just picture this for a second. A world just obsessed with progress, right? Factories booming, cities growing. But in all that noise, it just completely forgot about its kids. The most vulnerable people were just invisible.
But right there, in the middle of all that darkness, one man decided not to look away. He actually saw the children everyone else was pretending weren't there. And that simple choice, just to remember them, would end up changing thousands and thousands of lives.
Okay, so to really get how huge his work was, we gotta understand the world he was walking into. And honestly, it was a world without hope, at least for a lot of people.
Just look at this list. I mean, these kids weren't just poor. They were starving. They were angry. And who could blame them? They'd been abandoned. They were totally lost. No family, no home, and absolutely zero hope for any kind of future. It's like they were ghosts haunting their own city.
So how do you even begin to fix a situation that desperate? Well, for Don Bosco, it didn't start with some grand strategic plan. It started with a dream.
So, in this dream, he sees this huge crowd of boys, and they're just fighting, being violent. And his first reaction, a totally human one, is to jump in with force, to yell at them, try to break it up. But it didn't work. In fact, it just made everything worse.
And then he hears a voice, a message so clear and powerful that it will become the blueprint for his entire life. The voice told him the answer wasn't to use force, it was the exact opposite. It was kindness and love.
That one moment, it took what was just a dream and turned it into something so much bigger. It became his mission, a guiding purpose that was so powerful it would steer every single thing he did from that on.
So here's the real question, right? How do you bring a message of kindness and love into a world that only gets force and being ignored? That was his real fight, the battle for trust.
And can you believe this? This is the response he got. Not, "Oh, thank you." It was rejection. The same kids he was trying to help, they pushed him away. They were so broken that they couldn't even tell when someone was trying to help them. So what was his big, radical strategy? He didn't yell. He didn't lecture them or hand them a list of rules. No. He started with the absolute basics. He just listened. He smiled at them. He shared food. He met all that anger with a love that just wouldn't quit. And those little things, those simple acts of kindness, they started to build something real, something you could actually see and touch, something that would literally reshape the world for these kids. And the change was just wow. I mean, look at this. You have these kids who were defined by being angry and lost on the streets, and he gave them a place where they could learn, where they could laugh. He didn't just give them a meal. He swapped out a dead-end street for an actual future. But let's be real here. Building this new world was not some walk in the park. He had zero money. People were constantly criticizing him, thinking he was crazy. The exhaustion, both physically and mentally, it must have been crushing. Honestly, anyone else would have quit. Everything and everyone was telling him to just stop. But that mission, that dream he had, it was stronger than all of it. He just wouldn't give up on those kids. So after all that struggle, all that perseverance, what was the result? Well, it's a legacy that has lasted. A ripple of kindness that you can still feel today.
And we're not talking about helping a handful of kids here. His work completely transformed thousands of lives. It put them on a totally new path. And it all started because one guy followed a dream and refused to stop loving.
So what does he leave for us? It's this simple message. It's not complicated at all. It's direct, it's urgent, and man, is it powerful. We only have so much time to make a difference.
And that's really where Don Bosco's story leaves us, with a question. He saw a world that forgot its children, and he decided to do something about it. So now when you look at the world around you, what good are you going to do with your time?